want to welcome Star Trek's forever ensign and Trek Track director here at DragonCon, Garrett Wang.
Hey guys.
You know, for those who've never been to DragonCon, what exactly is Trek Track? How does it stand out from Star Trek programming elsewhere?
Trek Track is the track of programming that I am the director of, and we cover everything to do with Star Trek. We not just standard Q&As, but we have really cool, fun things like the Riker games, very silly. We also have the Subspace Rhapsody picture show and sing-along, which is very, very popular. We have Star Trek improv, so we really go above and beyond your standard kind of like, well, here's a Q&A with those actors and that's it, which a lot of other conventions, that's all
true.
they have,
That's
you know? So the offerings, the variety of offerings that Trek Track has is really impressive. And of course, the Miss Star Trek universe being the gem, the jewel of the Trek Track on Sunday of the con is absolutely wonderful.
It is really unique programming. Like throughout the weekend, you look at the schedule, there's just a ton of variety.
A ton of things happening with the Trek Track, especially I love going to the area that y'all have at the hotel every time. Like, it feels like when you walk into the main room, it feels like you're walking into the actual set.
And
the way everything is set up.
Every single year.
Yes.
Like the crew puts in so much effort to like get all of the like pieces together. Joe does a ton of the signs for you. And so it looks like you're on one of the lower decks of the ship or something.
It does. You're talking about our track room and everything. How we designed that. Yeah, I almost look at it like a Star Trek museum, and of course we have the lovely Joe Campbell helping us out with a lot of our signage there. So it's always, we try to transport you when you come into our
nice.
literally, right? Yeah.
For people that are coming to DragonCon for the first time and being kind of overwhelmed by the size of everything, what advice would you give to those people that are specifically here for the Trek Track?
I think they should, number one, have the app if they can, but just pre-plan. Like, look at the programming, look at the schedule, and pre-plan what you're going to do. Because if you sort of fly by the seat of your pants, you're going to be overwhelmed the entire time. You really literally have to have a game plan of, I'm going to be going here, and then there, and then I'll be walking here, and then map out how to get there. Because if this is your first DragonCon, this isn't just one venue. There's like 5 hotels, right? Plus the vendors area, America's Mart. So it's a very, it's kind of a steep learning curve when you first get here, but once you get the hang of it, you're going to love it. You're going to come back every year.
I mean, honestly, you got to brief the away team. That's the
you have to brief the away team. You have to exactly look at, if you're a newbie to Trek Track and DragonCon, look at yourself as the commander of an away team. You need to prepare, get everything, your routes, your escape routes. You know how you're going to get to whatever you're going to do, and figure out what you want to go see. There's so much to see
left
here.
behind, man. So how have you seen the programming evolve as we get more and more Trek, like the newer Trek series that have come along?
Well, I mean, the obvious answer is that we get to have the newest Trek actors at this con as our guests, and they get to do a panel. I mean, that's the obvious evolution, I suppose. But it's come a long way. My first year was 2003, where the vendors/actor signing area was the dungeon part of the Marriott. Remember that? It was just, that's where all the mildew grows. You know, it's just like, hey, let's be down there all day long. And it has expanded beyond anyone's dream, and it's amazing. This is the 8th wonder of the world that I tell everybody that they have to have on their bucket list.
So speaking of panels, what are some big events or extra panels that y'all will be having this weekend?
Well, this year we have a Star Trek astrophysicists panel.
Oh, wow.
Which now makes us, we will have more doctors on a single panel than all the BritTrack's panels that they have.
Shots fired right
No,
there.
BritTrack already started firing shots. They're posting stuff on their social media coming down on Trek Track. So I've got to be able to do one little shot off the bow, right? Just quickly.
Okay. You know, we are so spoiled right now with all the different Trek series we've had over the last almost a decade now.
We are.
You know, is there any particular series or show you would want to guest star in if they could shoehorn you in somehow?
Well, it was Lower Decks until they finally put me in the next to last episode. Thank God. I was because the first season Robbie McNeil, my
Yeah.
buddy
Yep.
from Voyager, who played Tom Paris.
Yeah.
He was in the very first season of Lower Decks in an
Collectible
episode
plates.
called
Collectible
"We'll
plates.
Always Have Tom Paris."
Yes.
And I remember when he called me and he said, "Hey, they offered me. I did this voiceover for Lower Decks." I go, "Oh, that's great," because part of me was like, "Why didn't you call me?" Then flash forward, they used him again as his character from TNG,
Yes.
Nick Locarno.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at that point, I said, I got to send a message to Mike McMahon. So I texted him. I said, "Hey, great job using Robbie twice," is what I said on the text. I said, "Please don't forget about Harry." And he texted back immediately. He says, "We talk about Harry every day in the writer's room since season 1. We always talk about Harry. We try to find the right way to introduce
Yeah.
Harry," and they finally did.
Yeah.
But if
And
I
then-
had a chance for a show that I haven't been on, it would be the newest show being filmed now, Strange New Worlds.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
So
obviously,
good. So good.
Yeah.
it's amazing, but I could not appear as Harry Kim, and I don't want to appear as Harry Kim's great grandfather. I
Yeah.
hate that.
You're not
I hate
gonna
that.
you're not
Wait,
gonna
do
pull
they-
a
do
spider
they
and just
do that
appear
in
as like a
Trek?
different
They-
version of
Do
yourself.
they do that in Trek? No.
You know they
No.
do. Yeah, but I would come on as any alien, full
Yeah.
prosthetic alien on Strange New World.
Oh, yeah.
I do that in a heartbeat.
I think if they can get, Lower Decks on the Strange New Worlds, they can find a way to get Harry Kim on the
Onto Strange New Worlds,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I'll play a phaser. I could be an inanimate object. I don't care. I'm good. Yeah.
So
Love
you've
it.
been leading Trek Track for many years, and you and I actually had this conversation because I interviewed back when this was on DVD. The round discs, but physical media is making a comeback.
It
I
is.
interviewed you, and we had to have this conversation about how would you want to be involved in the sci-fi convention, and you and I basically were like. You said, like, yeah, if I would love to run programming at a con at some point. And I'm
said
pretty
that.
sure that had Henry watched that, and sometime, how long after that did you actually become the director? It was like a really
It was-
short amount of time.
Yeah, it wasn't that long, but
Like
yeah.
a year or two.
Yeah, probably a year or two later, and it manifested. So it started with that interview.
Yeah.
right.
That's great.
Because you've
But I
been
do-
you've come a couple of times already,
Yes,
right?
but I do want to bring light to something that Brian and I were going to collaborate on for
Oh, God.
DragonConTV many years ago.
Okay.
And it was, instead of drop it like it's hot, it was drop it like it's Spock.
Yes.
And it was going to be, me,
It was gonna be
Anthony
you.
Montgomery, okay, from Enterprise. I was going to play Snoop Dogg's part,
Yeah.
and he was going to
He
play.
was going to be Kirk,
Yeah.
and we were going to get
I was going to be Kirk / Snoop, and he was going to, Anthony Montgomery was going to be Spock
Spock
slash.
Evil Spock.
No, who's Pharrell? Pharrell.
Yeah, yeah.
Pharrell
And
in
so,
there.
but he was going to be Spock, and Evil Spock
Yes.
would come on with the beard.
He was going to come out with a beard, shave it off, and then
What
do
was
the
the
other part.
what was the line? I've got it. I got an agonizer, son. It's a Terran coming in, and you can tell from the hair on my chinny chin chin. That was the lyric I wrote, and we just couldn't make it work. And then another folks online made a drop it like it's Spock, and we're like, well, now it looks like we're copying him.
I
We
just
got the
want to
whole
say,
thing
Brian,
done.
for a Caucasian man, you're an excellent rap writer. You really
you,
are.
but
you
I
can
am
write some
not.
rap lyrics like nobody
I-
can.
The only
but
thing I
nobody's
can rap,
business.
the only thing I'd rap are packages.
Oh, my friends. Hey guys. Hi.
Hi, we're doing TV
Doing
now.
an interview. Sorry. Okay.
So,
great.
so you've appeared at so many other conventions and events. What makes DragonCon different from like the other stuff? Because you do Trek conventions worldwide.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
What's the thing? And I don't want to throw shade on other conventions because
Well,
they all have their own style. But what's
okay.
the DragonCon thing that makes it different from the other stuff that you do?
Let me just prep this by saying, a lot of times at my autograph table, someone will walk up, not here, at another convention, and they'll say, my dream is to go to San Diego Comic-Con. And I go, well, your dream's not that good. Because I said,
Oh,
because
shots fired!
you
I
got
didn't say it. He said it. I
but
didn't say
you
it. He
have
said
to
it.
enter a lottery to win the chance to even buy a ticket to the con, right? So that's already one hurdle.
Here it's just hotels.
Yeah, but round trip flights to
Yeah, no
San
big
Diego,
deal.
California,
Yes.
expensive.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Hotel anywhere near the convention center,
Yeah.
super expensive. It's like a trade show. They open up the convention center at 9, they close it at 6 or whatever, and then you're done.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you have anything that's afterwards, like a party. It's almost like a exclusive nightclub in Hollywood. Like they have a guest list. They don't. I remember going to a Sci-Fi Channel party with Teoke. Chris Judge, who played Teoke on
Okay,
Stargate.
yeah.
So Stargate was still filming at the time. So as we walk in, they go, "You can come in, but not him," pointing to me. And Chris Judge said, "Oh, so you're telling us that the guy that was on Star Trek is not allowed into the Sci-Fi Channel party? Like the whole reason why you guys exist is probably because Star Trek to begin with. So I don't know how you're keeping him out." So he made him look like crap, and he was like, "All right, we'll let him in." But that's the thing, that exclusivity. Here at DragonCon, if you have a membership, that gets you into everything.
Yes.
Everything other than maybe 1 or 2 special events like the Georgia Night at the
Yeah, the
Aquarium,
aquarium, yeah.
right? But other than that, you can go any panel,
Yeah.
anywhere, any after party, and San Diego Comic-Con, all those after parties, again, got to be on the list. Here, DragonCon programming goes until 8 a.m. basically, 10 a.m. to 8 a.m. every day.
Yeah.
If you talk about that, that's a lot of programming
Yeah.
and a lot of access with that
Yeah,
with that
it's basically
badge.
24/5 once
Oh,
the
it's-
thing kicks off.
And in
Yeah.
between that programming, we have the late show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
so it works out perfect.
It works out
The
great.
most inaccurately named show in the history of the convention. Thank you for spending so much time with us.
Oh my
and
God.
thank you again for putting together
Thank
such
you
an
guys.
awesome track
I
within
know.
this giant machine
I could
of the
talk for
convention.
days.
Yes.
I could. Thank you to all of you for
Thank
being
you.
here.
Thank you.
Appreciate
All
your
right.
time.
So